Howdy friends, thanks for joining in today again to Griff's Adventures. Today I'm going to be walking out the new course here at Buck Lake Disc Golf Course at Morningside Church. So thank you all for tuning in today. Hope you enjoy the quick walkthrough that is the 9 holes here at the church. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. All right, here we are. Hole number 1. When you're first pulling into the church grounds here off of Pedrick, you'll come up and you'll notice this first crepe myrtle. For now, we still don't have any tee boxes, markers or anything, although we do have some flags in the ground. That's our next project to work on, is to create markers for each tee so you can use them a little better. If you are coming out, we do ask that you use UDisc, which is the app, UDisc. I'll put a link below so you know what to go look for. It's on Android and iPhone. But here we go. Tee box number 1 right here by the crepe myrtle. You're looking back down the number 1 fairway. The first hole here is 275 feet, the dog leg to the left. Once we get closer, we do have a mando on the tree up here in the middle of the fairway to keep from throwing over the trees and bushes. We do ask, if you come out to play the course, that there are no one allowed to be playing on Wednesday afternoons after 4 p.m. Sundays from in the morning to around 12:30 there won't be any playing, just because of church activities. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me. So here we go. In the middle of the fairway here, you have a mando with this tree. Looking back down, the drop zone will be right here in this bare patch area if you miss the mando. And there we go. Go back at the basket. All right, on inside of each basket, you'll see that we did make arrows. If you're unaware of where the next tee box is, the arrow will point the way on to number 2. So number 2 is tucked down over here. It's about 35-40 foot from hole number 1's basket. Stuck in behind the trees here. And here's number 2. Tee box is here. Looking back up that way, you'll see the basket. Straight in front of me is a little tree. That little tree is a mando. You must throw to the left side of this little tree. Not allowed to take this cut through area here. Should be going up that way. The basket's about 265 from here. So the ideal shot for this hole, see if I can get up here a little bit better, get closer in the middle of the fairway. The ideal shot is, there's a tree straight in front of me, a group of trees with a pecan tree. If you can get right up in there in the middle of them with a flick for a right-handed player, that is the ideal throw. If you have a right-hand turnover shot that you can throw backhanded, sometimes you can get it up in here, but I will look back here halfway. Have a very low ceiling. Those trees are about, the branches are about 8 foot off the ground at the most. Get a little bit closer, they're about 6.5, 7 foot. So very, very low ceiling to throw through. Once we get up here, we're right about the middle of the fairway here on 2. Did forget to mention that on hole 2 there is no out of bounds anywhere. The road that we crossed over, for now, we're not considering out of bounds. And here we go. looking back at the basket, looking back on the top of the basket, looking back to the tee box, straight in front of me is hole number 2. All right, here we go. Hole number 3. If you can see, it's straight in front of me. I think it's about 200 foot is what we have it measured off. There's not really an ideal line with this hole. You can go to your left, you can go straight up the middle, or to the right of that magnolia tree. I usually go to the right with a hyzer and try to skip it into the basket area. The basket area is pretty well protected around a bunch of oak trees. Here we go. If you haven't noticed already, all of our tee pads except for one will be natural ground. We're not planning on improving that in any way at this time. The only pad that we will have that has concrete is number 1, because the concrete's already there. Try not to make too many changes to the area that we're playing in, other than we cleaned up the grounds around the baskets for the most part. But really, I think we only cut down a couple of trees. So here we go, coming into number 3. As you can tell, me walking in, it is pretty well protected. Looking back, you have several trees. That gap right here in front of me, I have seen a couple of people make it straight through here on a straight shot. So if you have a straight low shot in your bag, this would be the time to play it. On to number 4. All right, here we are at number 4. You are just a few short paces away from the basket. Number 4 is set up with the walking distance it was out is about 210. It is straight in front of you. If you have, once again, just like on 3, a straight shot that you can throw low, you can throw right in between these 2 trees in front of me. Or you can take the path to the left, which is what a lot of us do, is flick around. There's a magnolia tree up there. We try to go around the side of it and come through between the pine tree and the little magnolia on your right. Or you can hyzer around the side of that oak tree. We are thinking about, right here is a big oak tree in front of us that we're thinking about cutting down that little limb off of it, and you can make a route through that tree, but right now we're not going to make that change. About the halfway point of the fairway here. No out of bounds on this hole either. The road is in play. If you land on it, it is dirt. Your goal is to land somewhere up in here. You can look back, you can see the 2 little trees that I looked through earlier. The flag's right behind them for the tee box. So right up in here. Good landing area. If you get too far back, you're going to be in the junk. And here we are, looking back over the top of the basket, looking back down to the tee box. On to number 5. Just a short little walk. It's hard to believe that 40 days ago we couldn't even walk in here because it looked like all that. A lot of clearing to get this where we can get here and play. So number 5, once again, is marked with the flags here. Number 5 is around 260, 270. We've got to remeasure it. We've made a bunch of changes on this hole, but basically standing straight in front of me, if you look through the bushes, which will be there in a second, the pin is tucked up in there. This is ideal for a left-hander that can throw a flick. Right-hander, if you can get a turnover shot. There's a group of bushes, a wooded area right straight in front of me. It's only about 5.5, 6 foot tall. If you can throw through that, you'll be basket right in front of you. You did see that shot yesterday or 2 days ago. Made it right through there and was parked within 2 feet. So it is a possibility. You have to be careful. You have an overhanging limb there that will not be cut down. Just kind of comes into play, makes you shoot around it. All this will be gone shortly. Once this shed is completely walled in back here, the course will be open. But until then, that's the reason why we haven't completely opened it yet. If you throw and don't get your shot turned over, you'll be in the middle of all that. And there's a bunch of briars and witches' broomsticks and things like that up in there. So this is that area here of sand that you can shoot over. It's not that tall. Once again, your goal looking back down here, you're trying to see, is to make it through all this and be right up in here. Here we go. From the top of the basket looking back towards the tee box. On to number 6, you'll be coming into the woods, and once again, 40 days ago, you couldn't even get in here. James and I spent a solid afternoon of cutting down trees where there was only a trail wide enough to walk through. If I can figure it out, I'll post a before picture of what this hole looked like. I'll also post, I had a short video of what it looked like prior to cleaning this up. We did move the tee box back this weekend, moved it back another 15 or so feet from its original point. So your goal here is you're gonna throw straight down in front of you. It's a tunnel shot. For right now, this tree branch here is in play, and I don't think it's gonna be there much longer. It's pretty rotten and falling apart, so we'll just let time take its course, and if it falls, then it's going to change the hole a little bit. So this is number 6. It's a tunnel shot. It's only about 175 foot down there. Like the other holes, there is no out of bounds. It's only punishment. If you make it to your right over here, it's pretty thick. The bushes, we're not cleaning them out. You're going to have to take your medicine and pitch out. To your left, the same thing. Pretty thick. We cleaned out quite a bit to have a nice little fairway, something to throw down. Once again, it is hard to believe that a month ago, when we were mapping this course out, James stood in this exact location with this flag above his head here. It was that overgrown. There were some bushes and stuff that were 10, 12 foot high, so you couldn't even see anything. It's come a long way. You have a good area around. Your putts, if you throw up in here, you can putt from. These trees in front of me will not be going anywhere. So this is number 6. From here, you'll make a short walk back out of the woods. to number 7. Number 7 right now we're showing is about 195 feet straight in front of us. It's an island green. If you land on anything that's asphalt that is out of bounds, you'll bring it back to where it last crossed in bounds. So we are trying to think of maybe just making a drop zone closer to the basket, maybe right there at the berm. If you go out of bounds, that may be the drop zone that you have to come back to, so everybody has a fair shake at it. But we'll figure out something here shortly. So looking here around the green area for 7, you don't have much room. There's not a lot of room for error here at this hole. This the asphalt parking spaces cut into it pretty quickly, as you can see. Quick word of warning, that is a holly bush. You throw in there, it's not comfortable. So just so you know. Looking back over the top of the basket now, back at the tee box for number 7. There we go. Now we go back up the fairway for 7 to a tee box at 8. I know when we play events out here, this may not be ideal because you're walking right back around the fairway, so we'll have to figure that out when the time comes. All right, coming back up to here 8. Before I get to the tee box, if you look straight in front of me, tucked into the woods, you might see the white basket. I'm not able to really zoom in on my GoPro to get down there, but we'll be there in a second. It's tucked right straight in front of me. So number 8. Number 8 is measured out at around 250. We're gonna have to bring a wheel back out here and remeasure every hole, but 250. This does favor a left-hand backhand or a right-hand flick or a right-hand turnover. Do have to be careful of these woods to my right up here as I'm coming up. They are pretty thick for now. Will be another project to clean those out here eventually. They are pretty punishing if you get in there, so you want to make sure that your throw is out here kind of starting at these gap of about 3 little trees in front of me, and let it kind of turn over back into the basket. For now, it is a little tight getting in here. We're leaving this right side over here intact, not messing with any of that. It's just kind of a punishment if you go that far to right. Do have a lane here. We will clean out a little bit more up there, but not much to putt through. If you get over here, you have a pretty good window, except for this big grapevine that's growing up in here. It can get in your way. I've had a throw the tee box that hit it, kind of knocks it down in a hurry. And you do have a gap over here that you can putt from. This is 8. Looking back down the Tee box would be kind of straight in front of the camera, right up there past the curbs on the parking lot area. Do have to be careful coming in here. Do still have some exposed little roots. Hopefully can get some of those cut out here in the next couple of days to kind of make walking around here a little bit better. But this is another one. When we first started, you couldn't even see into it when we first started out. Now we're going to walk back across to get to 9. Number 9 is going to be our final hole for the Buck Lake Disc Golf Course. Number 9 right now is about 280, 270, somewhere in there. We have not remeasured this in a while, so we have done some changes. The pad has been moved around a little bit, but straight in front of me you'll see a little tree with an orange flag on it. That is a mando. You have to throw to the right side of this tree. It is something in the works. We're going to have, instead of mando signs, they'll have one-way signs that have Bible verses on them. Yes, you're coming to a church, so yes, you're going to get the gospel while you show up here. That is our decision as a course, to spread the gospel of Jesus, and what better way to do it than disc golf. So anyway, your ideal will be right through this gap, right straight in front of me. There's 2 trees to my left, one to the right. I want to shoot straight up in here. If you do land on any of the asphalt out there to the left, that is out of bounds. So you want to try to stay up and to the right. This ground that is the middle of the fairway has no grass. It is compacted, and your disc will skip very well out to the parking lot. And it does kind of slope down to the parking lot. So just kind of know that before you play. And here we are coming up to the basket on 9. You do have some low overhanging branches that will not be cut. Bunch of roots up here on the ground that love to knock your disc around, so just be careful. So here we are, number 9's elevated. We elevated this basket, I'll say it's about 26 inches off the ground. We are working today actually to build a base to go around to cover it up. But that's number 9, looking back down the fairway. So there we go. And I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of the course. This has been a really nice adventure making. This is something I've never made before. I do want to give a shout out and thanks to Dave Mutean Jr, who is a dynamic disc team member here in Tallahassee, Florida, who graciously gave his time to the church and the community to help us lay out the course. And I'm very greatly indebted to him for his time and efforts that he's helped us with getting this set up. So Dave, thanks once again. So if you have any questions about the course, please reach out to me. Answer anything I can. Our email address will be in the bottom. It's bucklakedgc@gmail.com. So you can reach out to us anytime. We do have the course on Disc Golf Course Review and Disc Golf Course Scene, where you sign up for tournaments and things like that. So please give it a look. I do have a review on there. If you do play the course, write a review. Let me know what you think needs to be improved. So as always, I want to thank you for tuning into the channel, and God bless. Take care.